Wham! Talk 1600. You're catching the drift. Conservative talk. Intelligent conversations on local, state, and national issues with Gary Wellings, chief editor of the Current newspaper and Current Online. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. And now, your host, Gary Wellings.
Hey, good Saturday afternoon. Thanks for tuning in to catch our drift. Joining me in studio, it's Ed Bonderenka.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes.
Yeah, so what we do on the drift every Saturday is go over the news that we put on the dailydrift.com. It's
the news you need to know.
Well done. And lots of things to talk about this week. Should be pretty heated. Should get pretty heated. And I'm going to invite our listeners, because I want your comments, 734-822-1600, to call into the show. And we can discuss anything you want, but we're going to start out with a bunch of things that irritated me this week. But before we do that, let's take care of a little business here. If you're looking for appliance service, water heater service, plumbing service, water softeners, sump pumps, you name it.
Air conditioning repair and tune-up.
Air conditioning.
Or even installation.
You want to call AAA Service Network. That's AAAServiceNetwork.com. Or you can call Ed, not our Ed.
Yeah.
Ed at AAA Service Network, 810-226-0047. That's 810-226-0047. They have offices in Brighton, South Lyon, and Ann Arbor, Whitmore Lake. So 810-226-0047. And there's a lot of great coupons in the Current, COURANTonline.com. You can print off the back page. There's a whole bunch of Current coupons right there for you to use.
You weren't here, but while you were gone, one of my neighbors used him, and I went over and asked him after he left, I said, what'd you think of him? And he says, well, told me I needed this, and I needed that, and I needed that. Did he tell you had to have any of that? He says, no, but things would work better if I did. I says, you going to do it? He says, well, I'm going to think about it. So you don't feel like you were pressured to do anything, right? He says, no, but he gave me good information.
Yeah. Yeah, Ed's a good guy, and he's going to educate you, not just try to sell you something. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, they're a good group of people. 810-226-0047, AAAServiceNetwork.com. Okay, well, the first thing I wanted to get off with was Trump's comments.
Send her back.
Yeah, well.
Send her back.
It started with telling the four horsewomen of the Democratic party-lips.
Yeah.
I'm tripping myself up over that one. That, if you're not happy here, leave. Yeah. Love it or leave it. That's been around for years. It's never been racist in my book. And it doesn't matter whether you're talking about your bingo club, your book club, your high school, your reunion club. Love it or leave it. If you don't like it, get out. Or be constructive in changing it. These four women have not been constructive at all. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
I actually wrote about it recently, and it was basically the title of it was "Send Her Back," and she's most probably a perpetrator of election fraud.
Ilhan Omar, yeah. Rep Ilhan, yeah, and possibly immigration
fraud too, yeah, tax fraud
and tax fraud.
So, what's the problem?
Yeah, if
the whole problem is that she doesn't like living here. They're a group of people. Remember Albert, what he said to Bruce Wayne in The Dark Knight? Some men just want to burn it down. Ilhan Omar, I'm sorry, I'm off on a whole different tangent. You gave me that book, America the Happy, to read.
Yeah.
Okay, after I left here and you gave me that book, I hadn't had a chance to read it yet. I go to a graduation party for my grandson, and I meet a friend of my son's, Bill. And Bill and I started talking, and he says, what's with people? They're either happy or they're not happy. And it was the whole topic that you and I had been discussing. And he points it out that, hey, there are people who are generally happy, and then there are liberals. And there are people who just want to tear everything down. And I wrote about it, and I kind of extrapolated on my blog. And I said, these people will never be happy. They won't be happy in the ashes. After they destroy everything, trying to make everything better in their view, they won't be happy with that either because what? It's never worked.
Right. And the ashes will be uncomfortable, or they weren't done, or the burning wasn't done right, or somebody else, they're going to blame somebody else. We're going to get Keith Felty on. I'm going to try and get him on maybe next week. I'll put a contact out to him. America the Happy is a great little read. Did you finish it?
Ilhan's one of those, and most liberals are like that. I mean, there are some who aren't. There's some you can reason with a little bit here and there.
Not very many.
Not these days.
And
most of them just want to tear it all down. They're unhappy with America, and and they want to change it to their version.
Yep.
There's a time for constructive criticism on the little things here and there, the little tweaks. But when you say you want to remove the tenets of the American Constitution, no, I'm sorry. That's the guidebook. That's the compact we live in this country under is the Constitution.
Yes, exactly. Let's take a call from Joe in Wyandotte wants to talk about Representative Ilhan Omar. Go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, that's definitely one that's got my blood boiling. And send her back is absolutely correct. Us saying
racist.
this is not racist. It has zero to do with her color. It is rooted in fact. She is Somali. Her gender and color are not relevant, nor is it racist to point out the facts, not conspiracy, tinfoil hat stuff, that she committed fraud. You touched on them. Tax fraud. You can find real news sources, not Alex Jones type conspiracy radio shows about the tax fraud, and she is quietly paying a fine, and the media is mainly trying to bury that. But more importantly, she committed immigration fraud not once, but twice. Mm-hmm. First, her last name is not Omar, and this is where her brother ties in. The Omar family were granted asylum from Syria, or from Somalia. She and a couple members of her family, not of the Omar family, tagged on with the Omar family, claiming they were Omars. This is then where her brother comes in later to second immigration fraud, was when she married him so that he could come to the U.S. and then try to become a citizen. So she committed immigration fraud twice.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't have to say all that now.
Deported over it.
Yeah. So here's my question. Again, Democrats getting a pass. Why is she getting a pass?
Exactly.
Why is she getting a pass?
Coddle
She's a woman
criminals.
of color.
They elevate them. It's a badge of honor to be a crooked SOB in the Democrat Party.
Yeah.
You can't let one little chink in the wall of liberal solidarity fall. You can't let one little thing happen so the media cannot report on her, because that would boost Trump's correctness. You know what I'm saying? Yep. All of a sudden, that make Trump look like he was right about something. Then their whole wall might start tumbling down.
And they have something they can hide behind. Somalia has been civil war torn for decades, and so records may not exist. So this could be easily proven she married her brother if we could find the birth certificates. But likelihood of finding them are slim, so she can hide behind, well, I can't produce them to disprove we aren't related. Well, they could do a DNA test.
Yes.
Obviously, they won't, because it will prove they're related.
Well, look at the Omar family. Why do you think the Omar family gave her up and said, really, she's not one of us? We kind of snuck her in with us. I
didn't hear that.
The Omar family. And that's what what's his name in Powerline said Thursday morning. This was the big clue. I could not understand a lot of this until it finally came out that she's not really an Omar, like Joe was saying. So now this family, this clan, has given her up to this reporter, this guy at Powerline, and by doing that, they've fed into they fed into why there's a reason for her marrying her brother to bring him over. Besides that, my question is, why did they give her up to a reporter? Why didn't they stand with her? Because
they may fear having to be deported themselves for engaging in the conspiracy to commit fraud.
Well, that could be, but they did it anyhow, and I think it's because they are embarrassed by her behavior. There are good people that come to this country as legal immigrants, and the rest of the Omar family did that, right?
And I think you're right. You may be onto something there. There are good Somalis, and the Omar family could be good ones and came here for the right reasons and with the best of intentions. And the last thing is, this part is speculation. It would be hard to prove, but the rumor is that Ilhan's family, and I go out of my way to avoid saying Ilhan Omar because she is not Omar, but Ilhan's family had ties to Adid, the warlord. Mm-hmm. That's why she's so obsessed with Black Hawk Down.
Yeah. I've seen 2 or 3 articles on that too, Joe. I'm not ready to confirm that is true, but I have seen that.
Well, some
exactly.
people.
That's why I brought it up with a caveat, but I do believe it to be true.
Some people did something. I like her tone. I like the way her voice moves around. Some people did something. It's like, I want to punch her.
Don't make fun of her. Now
that mocking her is completely racist, obviously. There, Ed.
Right.
Send her back. Yeah. Send her back.
All right. Great call, Joe. As always, appreciate it.
Take care, my friends. I love you.
Love you too. See ya. All right. So, I just this irritated me. It just irritated me because you know what? Trump is right. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not going to apologize for these evil people, and that includes you, Metro Detroit, because you know what? You've elected Rashida Tlaib. This is a woman that dropped an F-bomb, mother effer, on Trump as soon as she was elected on Trump. Mm-hmm. And yet they want to say he's a bad guy because he said if you don't like it, go back to where you came from and fix it there.
Yeah, and he said it without cursing.
Yeah, this is content of character.
Yeah.
That he's talking about. Nothing about race. This is not racist by any stretch of the imagination. And I wanted to do a whole monologue, but you know what? You like Mark Levin?
Mm-hmm.
I like Mark Levin.
We're going to have him on?
Oh. Kind of. I've got a couple clips here from him because he said it so perfectly. I was like, he hit it right on the nail. He did the Hannity-Fox interview thing, and we got a couple snippets here. And he's spot on. It doesn't get any better than this. Derek, you got this? And we're going to cut it when I tell you. We'll cut it and we'll discuss this. But go ahead and let's start Mark Levin talking about the 4 horsewomen of the Democratic Party. Or not. It happens.
Yeah.
Well,
see, the thing is, when you talk about Rashida Tlaib, okay, so the whole problem was that Trump said, they should go back where they came from, as if they all came from another country.
Right.
And now the talk is that, I think he was trying to say, or his defendants were trying to say that, no, back to their home districts, which is not the impression I got when I first heard him say it. Now, obviously, Omar is from another country, born in another country, and came here, and you could send her back. Tlaib, she's not from another country, but the problem is that her allegiance is to another country. All her efforts are towards the quote-unquote Palestinian causes. She does nothing for her district in Detroit.
Yeah.
It's just like Omar does nothing for her district in New York. It's all about national identity.
Yeah, all 3 of them.
AOC,
yeah. In Minnesota. And this is what I'm trying to tell the people of Metro Detroit. For crying out loud, this woman should be working with Trump, lobbying to get more money, more tax breaks, whatever it needs to help the city of Detroit and the suburbs that she represents. Yeah. And she's not. She's out there talking impeachment. Do you know what? People elected Donald Trump, and that includes people in her district.
Remember how Coleman Young used to brag about how he'd go to Washington and he was really in touch with Jimmy Carter, I think it was, Bill Clinton. He could bring stuff back.
Yeah.
But all she does is alienate the people that can do something for her.
Yeah, she's doing nothing to help the people of Detroit, and you got to think twice before you pull the lever for her in 2020. All right, Derek's got it ready. Here we go. Mark Levin.
President Trump was addressing the content of the character of these 4 women, not the color of their skin. But the media want it to be otherwise. The media are projecting, and the media are insisting on the opposite because they want the narrative of racism. He didn't talk about race. He didn't talk